Rebecca's objectives. It's project number 8 that she's working on. Her objectives are to select visual aids that are appropriate for her message and to the audience, and to use visual aids correctly with ease and with confidence. Her speech time is 5 to 7 minutes, and her personal objective is to conduct this activity smoothly.
Thank you. So today our first speaker is example of commitment. The way she taken care the responsibility of a sergeant at arms is amazing. I have not seen such commitment. She loves doing photography and she is doing business administration. Let us welcome Rebeca. Fighting Western disease, Rebeca.
A suggestion, maybe you want to turn that lectern the other way so it's not blocked. Just 180 degrees.
Does that help?
Made a voting box? Good idea.
Better? Yes.
Yes.
Good evening, Volatil's masters and guests. My name is Rebecca De Silva, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Western disease and a solution that I hope will give you guys an option to consider changing a little bit of how you eat and how you live your lifestyle. So I was supposed to be using the projector, but unfortunately I do not have the adapter for the cord, so I am going to try to smoothly use my laptop as my visual aid. I hope you can see. So first of all, these 5 diseases here are the monsters of American society today. There are heart disease, breast cancer, prostate cancer, diabetes, and obesity. And if I were to ask you to raise your hand, if you have or know of someone close to you that has these diseases, most of the people in this room would probably raise their hands. Unfortunately, the numbers are staggering. 1 out of 2 people will die of heart disease. I find this a ridiculous statistic. It's not supposed to be this high. Imagine 1 out of every 2 people in this room at one time will die of heart disease. It's an unnecessary death. 70% of Americans are overweight or obese, and this causes many other of the issues such as type 2 diabetes, amongst other things. And the solution that our doctors give us is not sufficient. They give us medications, they give us things after the fact, after we already have issues. Not to put down doctors in any way, because what they do is very important and I respect it a lot. However, our doctors nowadays are not taught nutrition. All the years that they are in school, they don't study nutrition or preventative measures so that we don't get sick. They only study how to make things better afterwards. So my dad and I came across this documentary. You might have heard about it. It's called Forks Over Knives. It's on Netflix if you would be interested in watching it. My dad has a friend who had visibly lost a lot of weight, so my dad asked him what had happened, and he said that he was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and he started looking for options on what he could do to better his health. And he found this program, and he reversed his type 2 diabetes, lost a whole lot of weight, and he is doing just fine today. So my dad looked it up, and we watched it. And what it is, it's a documentary. This is one of the men that is featured in it, Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn. He's a general surgeon at the Cleveland Clinic. And what he realized was that he was performing so many things to try to fix people who had cardiac disease. He was doing so many bypasses, and he realized that it wasn't working. It wasn't a cure for what the person had. If the person didn't change their lifestyle, they would come back with the same problem, and he'd have to do another bypass again. So he recommends this whole foods, plant-based diet, and this documentary goes deep into nutrition, and he also partners with this other biochemist who did a study in China and different people groups and demographics. It is really interesting. If you have time, I really recommend you watch it. So what he came to the conclusion was that a whole foods plant-based diet can avoid so many of the ills that we have in the United States today. And what does this look like? It is, so the whole foods part of it means eating foods in their entirety. So nothing processed, no white refined, anything. And then the plant-based diet, nothing that comes from animals whatsoever. So no meat, no dairy, no, nothing that is an animal product at all. So this is what he recommends, and this is what his son eats. So his son, Rip Esselstyn, is an ex-fireman and triathlete, and he wrote this book because when he was a fireman, he related, my dad and I went to watch him, this is him, we went to watch him speak, and what he said was that in the fire department and police stations across the U.S., men and women fall in the line of duty more often because of heart disease or some other condition, health condition, than they do because of fire or other hazard outside of their health. And these are the people who are supposed to be the most prepared to be helping and saving other people, and they are falling in the line of duty due to their own health. So since he had been raised eating this way, he started to help his co-workers, and he started seeing tremendous results. People who had extremely high cholesterol cut in half in a matter of a week or 2 weeks. So now he travels the country, and he's partnered with Whole Foods, and he speaks about this diet that he and his father so highly believe in. So my dad was very interested in this diet because he has had high cholesterol all of his life. Ever since his 30s, his numbers have been just ridiculous. They have never been under 250 ever since his 30s. So we decided, why not? After we went to this conference at the end of February, we thought, 1 month, let's try it, see what happens. I went along for moral support, and we tried it. So optimal total cholesterol is less than 200. That's what your number is supposed to be. My dad's at the beginning of March was 283. And after a whole month of eating just plants, no meat, no nothing, it dropped down to 182 in April. And we were very happy and impressed with this result. And he feels a lot more energetic. He had a bit of a tummy. He's completely flat now. So in 1 month, it really changed things very quickly. Now, some people, this is a quote by Dr. Esselstyn, some people think plant-based diet, whole foods diet is extreme. 500,000 people a year will have their chests opened up and a vein taken from their leg and sewn onto their coronary artery. Some people would call that extreme. So it is something to look into. I have a whole lot more. There are many frequently asked questions, like what about protein that people ask, meat and milk and all that. So I would like to do a second speech in order to explain all of this, but for now, thank you very much.
Great speech, Rebecca. I agree with my